Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta for Tiny Toes Rat Rescue. We last left off, we had just, released 3 of the 12 sealed weapons. We got the Yoichi Bow, we got the Assassin's Dagger, and the Rune Axe. Let me put them to some pretty good use, but before we do that, we're going to stop here in at Carwin. There's a treasure here that we couldn't get earlier in the game because there was a man blocking the way, but now that the worlds have merged, he's no longer in the way, so we can go get it. So, a desert just appeared in the west out of nowhere. And a lot of these people saying pretty much the same thing. Nope, we already know that about the hibernating lizards. Some tower appeared in the desert. Well, they haven't had fish in a while. I guess they're up Skid Row. And the wind oceans are done for. Uh-oh. The ships are like chocolate, but tastier. So yeah, we can get a cottage out of that barrel. I want to talk with this lady here. Do you think I'm pretty? Sure. You turned into Tiny Toe. You saw me as a woman, did you not? That's kind of a master of impersonation. That's what they say. What happens if we say no? Well, oh, ho, ho, ho. And if we change to any other character, put any other different character, when the mime appears, they will reflect that character. So, yes. You saw me as a woman, did you not? For I am the master of impersonation. That is what they say. And yet, I must find a way to become more skilled. And that person is going to be an optional boss later on in the game. But we will run into them later, but that's all we had to do here in Carwin here. But we have something we want to do near Carwin. We want to land over here. There's a few new enemies that we can pick up over here. The first one is going to be kind of common, but the other one is going to be a very, very rare encounter, and it can only be found in this area. So, kind of like this little section of the water. Later on we'll be able to get a submarine, and when we go down into this area, that's where the wash tower is. It's sunk under the water. Well, yeah, basically in the water above where the wash tower is, this is where we can find the rare enemy we want to encounter. But these bolt anemones, they're not very rare, but you can tell you're in the right area to find the enemy if you run into the Sahagins and these bolt anemones. So they're different than most other sea monsters in that they actually absorb lightning. So, but they're available in the first world. So yeah, they're pretty easy. So we don't even need to use lightning to hurt them. So, but just regular attacks will do. So, woohoo! Take care of them. Not that we're gonna get big rewards out of them, but, you know, we want to fill up our bestiary, so. Now, the rare encounter is gonna be an enemy called the Stingray, and that's gonna take a while to get to. So, I'm basically going to, off-screen, getting into that fight. So, there it is, the Stingray. This guy's gonna have much better rewards. The main one being, we want to get the Big Guard Blue Magic spell off of him. So, we only have to have one person with learning, because the Big Guard spell, when he casts it, is going to hit everybody. So, this guy's pretty tough, but luckily, his level is a multiple of 3, so we'll take him out with the level 3 flare. But we don't want to do that too much right now, because what we want to try to do is we want to use the Tempting Tango with the Dancing Dagger on him to get him confused. And then, when he's confused, he can potentially cast the Big Guard spell on us. Now, we don't really need to start doing damage to him now, because while he's confused, he can also use a spell called Tidal Wave. And that'll hit him and heal him up, because, see, he absorbs water. So, he drops the Dragon Whisker, which is a really good whip. So if you have like a Beastmaster, that's a really good whip for them. So it's even better than the, it gives more attack power than the Fire Lash, which is one of those sealed weapons. And the Dragon Whisker is strong against dragon enemies, so it's actually better than the sealed weapon. So yeah, there's quite a few weapons that are better than the sealed weapons, but usually they have to require like a rare drop or a rare steal. So yeah, you just want to mainly tempt this guy. I tried to use the flash spell on him earlier because the problem with tempted enemies is they always have a chance to attack themselves, and if they attack themselves, they will remove that confusion status from. And we want him to be confused as long as possible so that he has a greater chance of using that big guard. Yeah, so when you use that tidal wave, see, he heals himself for like 6,000 hit points, so there's no point in dealing damage to him now. But once we learn the big guard, then we can start hammering away at him with level 3 flares. So he is definitely not cooperating. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'll end up fast forwarding the battle a little bit here. So, because this battle actually takes quite a bit of time to get through. So, use that evil fin attack that can poison our characters. I threw everybody in the back row here because we don't really not going to be dealing damage with our physical attacks. Our main source of damage will be, like I said, the level 3 flare. So, in the meantime, though, he's using up pretty much all our magic with White Wind. So this is why it was important to keep that the dancing dagger, even though its attack power isn't all that good. Even with when it does the sword dance, which is 4 times the amount of regular attack damage, still not all that good. Especially now that we got the chicken knife, but we still wanted that to be able to confuse enemies to get some blue magic. Because otherwise, the only way to get this blue magic would be to have the Beastmaster use the control ability on the Stingray, and then have the Stingray cast the Big Guard spell on us. But now that Big Guard spell is going to be really, really important in the 3rd elemental dungeon, the one under the sea, protected by flame. That's if you look at my last year's 4-job Fiesta, I used all my potions, and I used some elixirs actually to get through that dungeon, because it's full of those damage tile floors, like in Exdet's castle, and those things do 50 hit points per step on them. So now if you have a Geomancer or a Blue Mage to cast Float, well, you don't have to really worry about them at all. But we did not have either of those 2 characters, so yeah, we got stuck. So, oh, finally got the tempting tango, and of course he pulls himself out of it. Boo. So, eventually though, like I said, this spell is really, really good. So trust me, it is worth all the pain that we're going through to pick it up here right now. So. Looks kind of evil for a Stingray. Got that like skull face on him. Yep. We can pet the Stingrays down at the Georgia Aquarium where I used to live down in Atlanta, the Atlanta Aquarium. And they were just like little baby Stingrays though. So you stick your hand in a little pool. It was shallow, and a bunch of Stingrays. You can just pet them and stuff like that. So. Try the flash spell again. Nope, not working. So, boo. Yeah, because their flash reduces their accuracy. So of course we reduce their accuracy, and then he has less chance to successfully hit himself. So, yep. Throw an ether on him because this spell, he's using a lot of magic there. So just to be safe. We don't want him to confuse him, and then he decides to cast a spell, and we get a message saying like, oh, he's out of magic points. That would be really, really bad. I know in my luck it might happen that way. So, that is not what I want. We want the tempting tango. So, we're using a lot of antidotes here, so that's okay, because we're not really doing too much. We're not going to be doing too much adventuring in this episode. Mainly what we'll be doing in this episode is, after this I'll be getting all the sea monsters in the area, so. But man, this is taking longer than a normal boss fight. So, Alright, Tempting Tango. There we go, big guard. It casts Safe, Shell, and Haste on all the characters. So, that's really, really good. We got 3 buffs. Now we can just fast forward here. Woohoo, finally fast forwarded. We just pound away with the level 3 flare. And after a while, he will eventually go down. We get a lot of AP off of this guy. Quite a few of the monsters in the sea give really good AP, so... And once we finish this guy off, we don't have to worry about loading any more blue magic for a while. So we can finally revive Lenna. So we'll head over to the castle, the Kuza Castle. And we'll land on the left this way. Now, when we leave the castle, we don't have to walk all the way around. Not worried about being poisoned, because this thing is going to recover all the negative statuses, including the KO. So, yep, now no longer poisoned, and Lenna is back on her feet. And now we can save our game and go look for some more monsters. So let's celebrate that, getting that blue magic spell by going out for some seafood. Now we're going to start kind of near where we were at, just a little bit further south. We want to get, it's to the south of the Phoenix Tower. That tower there on the left is the Phoenix Tower. It's to the southwest of the North Mountain, where Bahamut is. So in the area, the sea around that area, is where we can find these guys, the Corbettes. You could have found them in the first world by Bestiary, but we didn't find them then, because I figured I'd be just hunt them down here in the third world. So, alright. Finished him off, not too bad, like I said, because we're pretty much really powerful now. But that doesn't mean that we won't have a problem, especially with this next enemy we're going to be hunting down. So we're going to head down to the south here, and near where the Crescent Village was. Island is no longer a crescent because it kind of got with the merged worlds. Oh, we can't go in this tower. This tower is somehow blocking where the catapult was, where Sid made the airship, or repaired the airship. But if we land in this lake here, we can run into 2 different types of enemies, and I get lucky here. I run into them both in the same battle. Now the worst one is that Rook, because it uses that Breath Ring spell, and that takes off, remember, 1/4 of your max HP. Not your current HP, but your max HP. So 4 hits of that, and you are done. So, and he uses it a lot. So, he also can hit pretty hard. Unfortunately, his level isn't one that allows us to hit him with one of those spells. Now, the Sea Devils there, though, those like squids on the bottom, we can take care of them with a level 3 flare spell. So 2 of them will take it out, either of them out. But there's one down. Oh, zombie breath. That hurts almost as bad as the breath wing. So yeah, he has a bunch of deadly status effects. He steals the Murasame, which is a really good katana for samurais, I believe. I think it might even be better than the one that the sealed weapon that you get. Haven't really looked at katanas because you can't really use them with this party, but another one of those weapons that could potentially be better than the sealed weapons. So, speaking of sealed weapons, we have a few of them equipped. Tiny Toe has the Yoichi bow, 30% chance, which is roughly 1/3 chance to, do a critical hit. And when it blinks like that, when the screen kind of blinks, that's when you're getting that critical hit. So, now the problem with the Breath Wing is, when you use a Phoenix down to bring somebody back to life, they basically come back with 1/4 of their health, their max health. So yeah, the Breath Wing, if we don't get a White Wind off to heal them real quick, it's just gonna knock them right out. And Rook is pretty rough in doing that, so he's not very nice. So let's see if we can try to heal Krill here real quick, get her back on her feet. Nope, once again, Like I said, luckily we aren't doing too much adventuring in this episode, so we'll heal up after this, and we can always stock up on stuff. So it's not like we're going into a big deep dungeon dive. Now come on, Lenna, we want you to I don't have Lenna on the rune axe just yet, because I'm using the Gaia hammer with the whatchamacallit, the quake, just as I'm doing this farming here. So, but we'll eventually throw the rune axe on her, or whoever else becomes our berserker. But she has to max out berserker anyway, so might as well just keep her on it, you know. The other characters have already maxed berserker, so Lenna got to do berserker and blue mage. She's the only one who hasn't mastered either of them. Everybody else is just waiting on archer. So, all right, let's. That was a tough battle, and we can run into the rook enemies, kind of near where we're at. The area we're going to be going into. We're going into the southwest corner of the map, so we're going to the southeast of where we are right now. We're in the southeast corner right now, so we're going to go a little further east and then south. There's some kind of rare enemies. There's also some uncommon there's also some common enemies. The common enemies are found more to the north, so I'm going to kind of head up to the north. I'll be pulling up the map to kind of show you our map, but when you're in the area where you can see kind of land, that's kind of where you kind of need to be to get the common enemies. And they include these Nyx enemies, who are pretty easy because they're level 25, which means if you have level 5 death, cast it on them and they're done. And that's it. So easy peasy, mac and cheesy. I like mac and cheese. We got, like, before I passed away, and before Durf passed away, he had an abscess on his neck, so when they had to drain it, he had trouble swallowing. So Daddy gave us, like, lots of spaghetti and mac and cheese because they was easy to eat. You can just drink it all down. You can almost, like, drink it all down. Myself, Arthur, Pops, we had a lot of good times. Yep. Daddy was really nice to us. But now we don't have to worry about any of that stuff up here in heaven, because, you know, we're like returned back to our natural state. And everybody's happy and healthy, and we get to run around and play with all the other ratties, and, you know, the only thing bad about heaven is our humans ain't there with us. But don't worry, you'll be here with us eventually one day, and we'll make it nice for you. We'll show you around. But speaking of animals that aren't nice, these sea scorpions, they can use a needle attack on you. Slightly stronger than like a regular attack. Man, we were so close to taking one of them out. They have 500 hit points. I think Faris did like 490, I think, to it. That's okay. Tiny Toe will take it out. So, and then we got the Nyx here, who is we took out with the Assassin's Dagger, 25% chance to do an instant KO. So that's nice. And those are pretty much the common type enemies, so we're going to head south a little bit further here. So see where we're at right there? We're going to head a little further south, almost to the edge of the world map. And there are two type of enemies there we can encounter here. First is these jellyfish. So, you can, whatchamacallit, you could, if you want to, use the level 4 quarter spell on them, but they don't have too much hit points. They're pretty easy, so if you have a black mage or a summoner, you can use the lightning spell, or you can use Ramu, respectively. But they only have 1,000 hit points. Pretty easy to take care of, so we'll just fight them normally. Now the next enemy, though, that we will be fighting, a little bit different, so much harder. But you can tell you're in the right area when you start running into these jellyfish. You'll probably run into them first because they're a little more common than the other enemy you want to meet. So, and this enemy, like the stingray, is going to give a lot of ability points, but not so much in other rewards. So, see on our little world map there's an icon for Boko. We'll be hopping on Boko a little bit later. So Boko can kind of do a little, there's like a little mini quest, but you have to have Boko to do it. So our Boko riding days are not over yet. So We also gotta do our sailing days here. Let's keep sailing around. And this is the enemy we want, the Villia. So, yeah, it's like a lady in a bouquet of flowers. Huh. She can drop an angel ring, which is nice. But she uses, she hits pretty hard and, yeah, I think she uses a few different spells as well. But we'll just take her out with the level 3 flare. That's not good. She's healing with all that that quake. Surprising, because it looks like she's kind of floating on the she's floating off the ground. But for some reason, I guess the game wanted to make it tough and have her heal if you used quake on her. So. But she doesn't heal when we use level 3 flare on her. Nope. Like I said, level 3 flare, really good. Get a lot of good Mage on it because it's such a cheap spell. It's much cheaper than the regular flare because it has that constraint. It only hits enemies that are multiple of level 3. But as you can see, there's so many enemies in the third world, this Mage world, that little restriction ain't that really big of a restriction, so. That's, White Wind is also a really good spell there that we picked up in X-Death Castle. Wow, we're using all of our X-Death tools against them. And those spells that we learned are probably gonna do more work than the legendary weapons we got. So, alright. And that takes care of all the sea monsters. 25 ability points. No experience, though, so... Yeah. They're just basically useful for farming. So, yeah, you can see I just pointed out where we were again. But now we're kind of close to, Jackhole here, so... Let's just, come up here, save our game. And we did a lot of sea exploration in this episode, so... Next episode, let's explore the land. Take care, hope to see you then. Bye!